Who knew legal pot would lead to more confused people? And that confusion, well, it reigns high at work. Do you know what the workplace policy is on pot?
Not at the moment, no.
Can I ask if you know what your workplace policy is on the use of pot, if you can smoke?
No idea.
Do you know if your work has a policy?
I think they do.
But you just don't know what it is?
No.
Even the police are inconsistent. The Toronto force says officers can't use for 28 days before duty. Calgary's service says they can't at all, ever. While the OPP in Ontario say 24 hours from getting high to going on calls, it's just fine.
Are they allowed to smoke a joint before they come into work? What do you think the answer to that would be? Absolutely not.
This session is full of HR managers from grocery and retail chains trying to figure out just what their policy should be and how to enforce it.
Your supervisors, do they have any idea what they're looking for?
Randy Dignard is the instructor.
So play this out for me. I'm the employee, you're the employer, and you suspect I'm high. Maybe I'm in a safety-sensitive job. You're concerned about me. What do you do?
First thing is I have to investigate, and I'm looking at these key factors. I'm looking at the way you're dressed. I'm looking at the way your speech is.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your eyes, right? And if I'm sitting there going, you know what, I think you're impaired, then you see that the police doing the one-legged walk, the thing there. I might go to that route there, right?
And can you, as an employer, actually ask an employee to do that without any legal problem?
Yes. No? I have a right as an employer to determine whether you're safe to work.
That's also true at safety-sensitive jobs. Those who drive to sales calls or work with machinery.
Yeah, don't start your day with a joint.
It comes down to common sense for these scaffolding workers, but recognizing impairment of any kind is a bit more complex for their bosses.
How do you approach employees about whether or not they are a recreational cannabis user? You can't just come out and ask, do you use cannabis? It doesn't work that way.
Charles Maynard runs Armor Equipment. A year before legalization, he started asking how to train his workers, but there wasn't much info available then.
Employees do not have the right to use, possess, sell, or be impaired by it in the workplace.
Now, all of them are starting a new online course to make it clear what is acceptable and what's not.
I can honestly say that most companies are taking one or two stances. It is either zero tolerance, which works as far as making sure nobody's impaired. However, it has some human rights issues attached to that. And the second stance is we'll wait and see what happens and kind of follow the leaders. That can end you in hot water really quick as well.
Take the airlines. Both WestJet and Air Canada have told their pilots no cannabis use 28 days before flying. But how would they know? Cannabis can stay in your system that long, though only in some people, and no test can determine when you last consumed. Banning use, well, that's, legally speaking, likely to be challenged in court.
This is basically, I call it my office.
Yeah.
You have to take a firm stand at times.
Cab driver Sam El-Khatib has another kind of worry. The effect that those who want to smoke or have just smoked may have on him.
It's legal for them, but it's not legal for me. I have to be alert and ready to drive. And whatever they do, if they smoke themselves, it affects me. It's secondhand smoke. So I'm inhaling it. It will affect me, it will impair me actually.
So that's called hot boxing. And Sam plans to tell his customers just no smoking of any kind.
The whole definition of fit for duty means that you need to be physically, mentally, and emotionally in the right frame of mind to be able to perform your job.
Jeff Bradshaw is training Sam and his fellow cab drivers. He runs Fit for Duty, an online program for employers and employees. He confirms what we found, that many companies still aren't prepared even though legalization has arrived.
I think a lot of companies are going to make mistakes because they're going to have managers, supervisors who are maybe reacting to a situation with not having the proper education or training, which could cause lawsuits, which could cause potential incidences if it's not dealt with properly.
So that is the challenge now. New territory for employers, and for many of them, it's still an unknown. David Coleman, CBC News, Calgary.